Harley and Indian, they've been battling forever. Dirt track, hill climb, beaches of Daytona, you name it. It's a long-standing rivalry. Now we've got Polaris in control of the Indian mark, so this is the first product that they've put out, and so it was only natural to kind of put the two bikes together. And even though they look identical, it's actually two totally different riding experiences. The Harley, you're upright, bars are up a little bit more, the floorboards bring the legs in a little bit more, you're really upright and in control. With the Indian, you've got the wider beach bars, the floorboards are out just a little bit more. It's a different riding position.
It definitely feels much larger than the Heritage Softail. It's got a longer feel, it feels lower, the bars are wider, and that makes it just a little bit more slow handling in the corners. It's just a little bit more difficult to kind of maneuver in tight spaces than the Heritage Softail. On the road, man, it's rock solid. It's just down the highway cruising, it's so comfortable in terms of handling and stability. It's really impressive. Power-wise, it's got a lot more motor, it feels like, than the Heritage Softail. I don't know if it is that much faster or has that much more horsepower, but the feel of it is so much more.
But with the Indian, you have just a lot more explosiveness down low. When you crack that throttle, that thing hits. The Harley, it's got the power, it's got plenty of torque, but it's a lot more even, and you don't have that same explosive hit down low like you do with the Indian. Also, once it gets up near the red line, the Indian will continue to give you power, while the Harley, it just abruptly signs off.
There are some engine noises that I don't like about it. The valve noise on this thing is really loud. You hear a lot of tick, 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 tick. It does make a lot of noise, and it takes away from some of the niceness of that exhaust character that comes out of that thing. Suspension on the Indian is probably one of the least refined aspects of this bike. It seems like that the rebound is too fast, front and rear, but at the same time those rates are off from each other. So it always kind of has this kind of seesaw feel when you hit like road seams and stuff on the freeway. On the other hand, while the suspension isn't the greatest, the brakes, they're awesome.
With the Indian, front stoppers, much more powerful, much more aggressive bite, as soon as you pull the lever. The ABS doesn't pulse near as hard on the rear. In fact, it gives the rider a little bit more leeway as far as it doesn't seem like it kicks in quite as easily as the system on the Harley does. The instrumentation, both have tank-mounted consoles. The one on the Indian is canted up a little bit more, a little bit easier to see. One other difference is with the Indian, you get cruise control standard, but it's not standard equipment on the Harley.
The attention to detail on this thing is really impressive. From all the leather on it to all the bits and pieces, just everything fits together nicely. Everything's got some nice attention to detail. The Indian logos that are embossed or engraved and everything, it's really impressive. And to me right there, that shows how much they really cared about building this bike. It wasn't, we need to build this as cheaply as we can, as fast as we can, to get it to market. They really took their time on it, and it shows.
With the Indian, you've got definitely more power, livelier throttle, a lot stronger brakes, and it too handles really well in motion. It's just the bars are a little unwieldy at low speed maneuvers because you only have so much range with the beach bars. But it's a choice. Like they've been saying, Harley's been the long time standard, but Indian has put up a product that's ranks right up there with them. So let's get it on. Harley versus Indian, part 2.